Welcome to the fantastic Gold Coast and to the 2015 UIM XCAT World Series Round 4 here in Australia's favourite playground, the Gold Coast, Australia, the motorboating capital of Australia, the holiday capital of Australia, the fun capital of Australia, and the XCAT capital of Australia. For the first time, this international World Series visits our shores here in Australia, here at the fabulous Gold Coast for their 4th out of 7 rounds of the championship. And joining me in commentary is Dave Bishop. Dave Bishop, mate, how are you feeling? Getting ready for the next session for today, which is our XCAT run.
Oh, fantastic, Paul. And yeah, we've seen some fantastic action this morning already. The ex-Dubai boys putting that boat on pole position for tomorrow's race. But this afternoon is all about getting points in the bank towards the championship. And that's what these guys are going to be looking for. A couple of guys didn't do so well this morning. They're going to try and bank some points. That's really important for them. This is going to be really exciting. We're going to explain the point system, and I might leave that up to our mathematical genius, your good self there, mate. But effectively, the type of racing that we're doing is drag racing. So for those of you that have seen both car and powerboat drag racing, we just have a sprint. Basically, 2 boats side by side, head to head. Winner takes all across the line, then they move into the next round. It's a repechage, and then they move on into the next round, and the guy that loses is deleted. Yeah, sudden death elimination for the loser in each one of these drag races. As you put it, we call it a XCAT run, and Australians love drag racing. So they'll line up, they'll get ready in the start chute that is over in the spit area of the Broadwater. We'll have a starting boat that'll be travelling with them, and Pasquale Cesena on board will hit the go button. Up goes the green flag, and then it's flat out. Now, it's a much more even playing field than what we saw in qualifying earlier on, because of the fact that they're travelling in much smoother water, in an absolute straight line, and going as hard as they possibly can. So it gives other teams an opportunity who perhaps didn't qualify as well to pick up a potential 4 to 8 extra bonus championship points towards the World Championship, which is extraordinary. To be able to pick up that many points, and every boat that participates, every XCAT boat that participates, will get 1 point as soon as it's put in the water, and another point as you move up through the order. The winner will take 4 points, second place will take 2 points, and third place will take 1 point. Yeah, it's the championship. Absolutely, and you know, that is valuable championship points. I mean, that's like the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow for these guys, because it really does bolster your championship standings. Now, we saw the guys, and exactly what you just said, Paul, the guys have been working hard in setup. I've been down into the pits and I've spoken to quite a few of the crew chiefs, and they're obviously going to run totally different setups this afternoon to what we saw running this morning. This morning, yeah, we're in the smooth water in the Broadwater, and then we headed out into the ocean, into the big swell. Now, that was a tough setup deal for them as well, because they had to set the boats up, weight them, and they had to choose what they wanted to do. I spoke to Simon Isherwood, the crew chief over there at the Saracen team, and he said that was a really tough deal because they needed to weight the boat. Okay, what do we do? Do we weight the boat for the rough water out in the ocean, or do we weight the boat for the smooth water inside the spit here? Well, they chose to run with getting the weight back because they spent more time in the smooth water. You can see how beautiful the Doug Jennings Park here on the Gold Coast Broadwater, and what a fabulous setup this is. And now let's show you from outer space all the way in whereabouts in the world we are. We are on Australia's fabulous Gold Coast. We zoom right in now to Surfers Paradise, one of the most magical holiday destinations in Australia and in the world for that matter. Certainly our favourite holiday destination right here. Here we head up towards the South Stradbroke Islands, SeaWorld. We do a flyover now. Here we are in the Broadwater in the Spit area where we're competing and doing all of our XCAT runs here, and over towards Southport now and heading towards Brisbane. So we're not far. We're about 70 kilometres away from the city of Brisbane in Australia. Just glorious. And there you see Surfers Paradise in all its glory. The XCAT out there with the first 2 competitors getting ready to get out into the start chute area. And once Pasquale's happy, Pasquale Cesena, that is, we'll see the green flag, and we'll be up for the first of our 7 XCAT runs to get through the initial 14 XCAT field. And then, of course, we'll go in a process of elimination. Now, remember, if you lose, you're out. There have been some incredible, close XCAT runs this season, some amazing stuff. And to give you an idea, the ex-Dubai have done extraordinarily well, but so have a number of other teams as well, because the potential to get very, very close here
it is your most easy opportunity to get championship points and move yourself up, particularly for our two Australian teams as well. Team Saracen Australia and, of course, Team Gold Coast.
We can see the boats now leaving the docks, Paul, as they're going to head up. They all have to head up to the top end of the course. They'll go up into the milling area, up at the top end of the course, up near the start line, and then they'll be called up two at a time, and the pairings will run like that. We were talking about setup a little bit earlier on. This is fascinating stuff. Now, what do? Do you go for acceleration? Do you go for top-end speed? This is all about what gearbox ratio you run. These guys have two ratios available to them. They have the 2-to-1 gearbox ratio and the 187-to-1 ratio. Do they go tall? Do they go small? Then they couple that with the propeller ratio that they run. Do they go tall on the props? Do they go small on the gears? So a lot to think about for these guys. Do you want to be hitting your top speed at half track, or do you want to be winding up and crossing the finish line? And we're going to see when these guys cross the line, we'll see boats getting run down that have set up for acceleration, and we'll also see boats getting blown away off the start that are set up for top end and then coming back at the end of the course. So this is going to be an absolute fascinating pictorial of how these guys set these boats up and what's going to work and what's going to work for who. Who do you think for this one?
Well, you know, you wouldn't be a proud Australian if you didn't want Team Saracen Australia to move up and as far as they can in the SpeedCat run. I mean, we'll see what happens. But an interesting point too with these SpeedCat runs, spectacular isn't necessarily fast, is it? Smooth and tight, because once you get that nose up, once the front of the boat comes up, you're losing time to the other competitor. And we'll be able to see at the end of each SpeedCat run via our virtual eye exactly where time was lost by a competitor. And when you're talking a few hundredths or tenths of a second, it is remarkable of what a little lift will do in terms of the front of the boat lifting, or or a wobble or something like that, which will then, you know, end your chance completely, because an XCAT that can be quite a way behind will come and get you by the finish line.
Yeah, exactly right, and that'll be the guys that are geared tall. The other thing too, the throttle man, well, you know what he's going to do? He's going to get his right foot, he's going to smash it on those sticks, and he's going to absolutely just keep them pinned. There's going to be no backing off. There'll be no throttling to be done in this. It'll be absolute horsepower. What he will be doing is trimming the boat. They'll trim the boat really high to get it off the line, break the surface tension. They'll trim the engines up to try and get the props spinning and get that acceleration, and then they'll trim the boat down as they go down the course so that the boat's not running too high and the potential of a blowover accident where the boat actually blows over backwards. So the guy on the trim is going to be the guy that runs this whole show. Throttle and trim. The guy steering, well, he's basically along for the ride. Keep it straight.
Keep it in
and
a
don't
straight
muck it
line.
up.
It can't be that hard. There's some people having fun at SeaWorld, a roller coaster there. This truly is Australia's playground. Amazing shots there at that beautiful family theme park.
How lucky are we to live here, Paul? How good
Great
is
part
this?
of the world. Pacific Ocean in the background, broad water in the foreground. XCATs are here with you for the first time in this part of the world, Australia's fabulous Gold Coast. And earlier you saw on screen Pasquale Cesena, our official starter on the Pace Cat, so you were riding on board then. And you'll see soon, once they're ready in the milling area, to get the competitors in a straight line and up to speed.
And Paul, we also want people to jump onto the XCAT Facebook page. Give us your comments. Tell us what you think, and tell us what you reckon about, and tell us who you think's going to win, and tell us who you think's going to not win, and what boats you're cheering for. All the people around the world can jump on there, and we'd love to see plenty of comments from all the fans on the XCAT's Facebook page as well.
And the last of our boats leaving the wet pits now, Australia's Gold Coast, Tom Barry Cotter, Ross Willerton, boat 11, about to head off. That'll be the last boat to head off into the milling area. We'll be ready to get our SpeedCat runs underway. Again, you've seen a lot here in the Gold Coast. You've seen everything here at the Gold Coast, I'm sure, but you have not seen XCAT and the World Series here for the 2015, their 4th season and the first ever time in Australia. Okay, we're rolling now. Okay, have a look. The Pace Cats in the middle there with Pasquale Cesena about to send Team Saracen Australia to go in a duel with Abu Dhabi. They got a difficult draw there with one of the fastest boats out with Abu Dhabi. Wait for the green flag. We are about to have our first SpeedCat run. You've never seen anything like this before, Gold Coast. The XCAT World Series, the first SpeedCat run ever in Australia.
Saracen on the port side there, and on the starboard side we've got the Abu Dhabi machine. Great shots coming through. Get your eye on the big screen there. You can watch the boys coming up to the start line. Just had a look too, Paul. The Gold Coast boat stuck in the pits there. Looks like the green flag is going to be ready. Mate, first XCAT's, the inaugural XCAT speed run. Mr. Paul Marinelli, take it away, my friend. Let's see what happens in this one. Australia versus Abu Dhabi.
Australia versus Abu Dhabi, all right, here in the Gold Coast. We're waiting for that green flag. So building up speed.
Building up tension.
Yeah, yep.
How do you think the palms would be in the cockpits of these boats? Sweaty
Here we
palms.
go, we are racing now. The speed gap run gets underway. Pasquale sends them off. Team Saracen Australia gets a fantastic start, but it's Team Abu Dhabi that has the edge at the moment. They're chasing them down hard. 1,000 metres, absolutely flat out here at the Gold Coast. Who is going to take it? Abu Dhabi's looking very, very good at the moment, but there's nothing in it. Here we go towards the finish line now. We'll be able to see it from our commentary position. Have a listen to the roar of the XCATs here in the Speedcat run. Abu Dhabi takes a clear first win from Team Saracen Australia. Well done to Rashid Altaya and Faleh Al Mansouri, the pilot. Altaya, the throttle man. Unbelievable stuff. They're yet to take a Speedcat run victory. Maybe this will be their first one of the season because they move up into round 2. XCAT number 5, Abu Dhabi. Team Saracen Australia is eliminated from the Speedcat run.
Oh, Paul Marinelli, have a lie down, mate. Have a deep breath. Perfect, cool, fantastic. You've set a benchmark for me, son, and I'm going to try and take on the challenge. So the next one we're looking for is we have a little bit of a look now.
Virtual replay now.
And the virtual replay, and look at this. Cracking start there from the Saracen Australia, wasn't it, Paul? And just getting a bit of water into your son. You need to have a little bit of a calm down. But
I actually thought Team Saracen got the jump at the start.
Yeah,
it was actually quite quicker. But
absolutely.
The point you were referring to about the gearing, have a look towards the end of it with Boat 5, with the Abu Dhabi team. Flying 172 versus 167 kilometres per hour. But a great effort by Team Saracen Australia there,
and
no
hitting
doubt.
the line at 173 kilometres an hour. So, yeah, gee, I tell you what, though, not a lot in it. Saracen can be fairly happy with that. They've been battling a little bit with that boat and pace, and I think to run with one of the absolute top runners here in the XCAT category, the Abu Dhabi boat, that's a pretty solid performance here from Saracen.
Well, we were speaking to Brett Lerman earlier, and he just looked at us and went, "We drew Abu Dhabi," and he had that look on his face. But, you know, they did themselves very, very proud. That was a good result.
Absolutely right. So we've got the Lady Spain and the T-Bone Station are the next pairing that we're looking for here in the Speedcat runs, the inaugural XCAT Championships here on the Gold Coast in Australia. And T-Bone Station, Lady Spain. T-Bone Station to the right of your screen, and the Lady Spain to the left of your screen. Let's have a look at these guys. We'll wait for the flag to go up. So, tension starting to build now. The Ultimate Marine sponsored Lady Spain, the white boat, the T-Bone Station is the silver machine now. We've got them just at about 40 odd miles per hour at the moment. Just running on the pace cat just off the stern there. Flag about to be produced, tension building now. Who's going to have the acceleration? Here we go, it's getting close. Go is the call. We're away racing. T-Bone Station gets a cracker. So too does the Ultimate Marine, the Lady Spain. Looks like T-Bone Station's got a fantastic acceleration out of line now. They charge away. Little bit of rock and roll for the Lady Spain on the outside now. T-Bone Station running hard. And Spain coming back at them now. There's not a lot in this. As they come down to the line, it's going to be tight. But I think it's a T-Bone Station getting the job done over the Lady Spain as Lady Spain comes back at them. Wow. T-Bone Station just over a hard charging Lady Spain. Oh my goodness.
There was nothing in
I need to lie down.
You do.
There's too much excitement for me, Mr. Marinelli.
That was looking at it side on from the finish line. That was unbelievable. Have a look at how Lady Spain, Jay Price and Sean Torrente come chasing Giovanni Capitella. Have a look at this at the boys. Absolute photo finish to T-Bone Station. Incredible. The Luca Fendi Racing XCAT. A team from Italy. And here we are with our virtual eye now, and you can see what's happening here. Lady Spain, T-Bone Station got an amazing start, which makes Lady Spain's effort even better, even more remarkable, given that they were a bit behind at the start line there. We're 20 metres in now, already at 155 kilometres per hour. Lady Spain at 158. And here we come. Now, Lady Spain starts to really make up some ground here from the 30-metre point onwards.
Yeah, this was the really interesting part, wasn't it? The Lady Spain really came back at him hard. 172 across the line, 177 for the T-Bone Station. Just pipping him, though. That was very, very tight, Paul.
Unbelievable
Are
stuff.
we going to have voices by the end of this?
Well, there's a few more to go, yes. So wherever you're watching, this is the beautiful Gold Coast. Surfers Paradise you're looking at there from our helicopter view. And the amazing broad water, just such a fantastic place.
Just had word too, we're waiting on the judges' call on that one. From our perspective, it looked like T-Bone Station unofficial though, Paul,
Okay.
so we'll wait for a call on that one, mate.
All right. So next up, we're riding once again with Pasquale Cesena. What a job this is to determine the boats that start. So we have boat 6, which is called 6. It used to be the old horse and booze, and yachts in boat 96 alongside Yachts Magazine, the sponsor of that boat there. Very good one if you're into your boating, a global magazine there. You can see the helicopter in the background as well. The amazing Gold Coast. You can see SeaWorld. We're about to get going. This is our 3rd XCAT run of the day. When they're perfectly lined up, you will see a green flag. Who will get the jump? Will it be 6 or will it be Yachts? They're getting a bit faster there. I see Yachts moving up a bit,
Here we go.
far forward, and they're heading towards a buoy here. So
What's going on there?
yeah, so they're going to have to line them up again now. But they're not too far away.
Wait, guys, stay.
You can have a listen. That's Pasquale you're listening to there, just explaining to the guys to line up.
A little bit going on there.
All right, we're going. We're racing now. It's Yachts that gets the jump. No, it's not. It's 6 that gets the jump. No, it's both of them. Absolutely flat out. There is nothing in it. No one got the big advantage over the other. You can see a little swell come across as they are accelerating. Drag racing on the water like you've never seen it before. 580 horsepower each, 8,000 RPM, trying to keep those boats level. Have a look at the difference on screen here. It's 6 that has a long way, but Yachts coming at him. 6 gets it though, by the looks of it.
Oh, the
we can
horse and
see
booze
here.
6, a big, well, not a big moment, but a bit of a jump and up onto the starboard side across the finish line, Paul.
Unbelievable stuff.
That's close race, isn't it? And that just proves that these boats are so evenly matched. There's nothing in this. And, you know, all running the same power, all running very similar hulls. And just have a look at the screen there. Isn't that a beautiful shot of the boat 6?
Yeah, boat 6. Matteo Nicolini and Tommaso Poli, the 2 Italians, did get it airborne, got it a bit messy towards the end there, but that's because they're pushing so hard to win. Everybody needs these points, and you get from this side view an excellent view of their victory.
Well, look at
and
the jump
Yachts doing
across
a
the
great
line.
effort. Yeah, they flew across the line. Some low-level flying for you here as well. The virtual eye coverage now, you'll see when they got going. Watch the acceleration. Here we go, 80 Ks, the 90 to 100 straight away within 2.5 seconds. Right up to 120 within another 2 seconds. Up to 140 within another 3 seconds. This is on the water, folks. So 156, 160 kilometers per hour at the 25-meter mark, giving you an idea of just how fast that gap just growing between them from this point on, with 6 extending that out to 39 meters by the time they got to the finish line. Superb win by 6. You move up as well.
Running the numbers there beautifully, Paul. And wow, isn't this exciting stuff? I didn't think it could be so exciting, but fantastic racing from these guys. So the next pairing that we are looking for now, and gee, let's hope the start boat doesn't try and run them into a pylon like he did on the last one. That was pretty exciting stuff, wasn't it?
They got it sorted, but yeah, you wondered what's going to happen here, because we haven't done this before, of course. So
I've never been cut off by a start boat before. I've been cut off by other competitors plenty of times, but never by the start boat.
This is Rahib versus Global Marine. Rahib, the Arabic word for awesome, versus Global Marine. Take it away,
awesome,
David.
absolutely right. And our wonderful lady driver there in Fatima, Abdullah El Sabawi and Abdul Tif El Omani in that particular boat. So we've got the Rahib, and on the outside, just picking up now the Global Marine. So our man there, Travis Thompson, and Robert Lopano there in the Global Racing Machine. So they both tuck in right next to the Speed Cat there, the start boat, and we'll look for them. Hopefully they give them a little bit more room this time around. In fact, they're shutting them down again. So we'll see the boat run out to the outside of that channel marker there. So I think that's where the race boats are supposed to be running in actual fact.
That's the point.
Yeah, these guys have. But here we go. This will be start very, very soon. Go is a call. Rahib doesn't get a good start. This is a problem here. The Rahib boat has got no pace on it whatsoever, though. It is the Global Racing just absolutely streaking away. So I don't know if there's a problem with the Rahib boat. I think there's a problem here and shutting it down. So there is a problem, and they, I think, have shut that Speed Cat run down.
Yeah,
not sure there,
the green
Paul.
Flag, the green flag never came up.
Go back to the middle
Okay,
area.
Pasquale's telling them to go back to the start area. Okay,
yep.
So it was basically a false start.
You can
so
see straight away
both
that,
arms up in the air. That's what he meant. So the green flag didn't go. Although Global Marine just went for it.
They went. They just went.
So we'll get another speed. Well, we get a bonus extra speed card.
We
round
do.
out of that.
We'll get another start for these guys.
Excellent for the entertainment here for everybody here enjoying the fabulous Gold Coast weather, the sunshine that we haven't seen for the last couple of days, and there's a replay of what went on there. So there was a bit of confusion, I think, from Rahib's part. Again, new driver in Fatima. You can't blame her for perhaps getting a bit confused as to what was happening across the buoy.
No, the green did go up. So the green went up, but then the hands went up, stop. So just a mass confusion there. They did put the flag up. But so both those teams, neither of them have done anything wrong. They'll get them back into the milling area and start them off again. So,
well, it happens, you know.
Beautiful
crowd.
crowd.
Oh, fantastic crowd. I mean, that's what the Gold Coast is all about. Families having a great time, coming here from a holiday, wherever you're watching from around the world. This is the place to come to. We want you to come and experience the Gold Coast for
there's a guy that fed us last night.
That's right.
At the Italian restaurant. Good on you, mate. Hope you're having a great day. Good on you, buddy. Well done. Makes a beautiful pizza, that fella.
People bringing their pets. But that's what the Gold Coast is all about. It's a fantastic family destination, and it's a bit of a Disneyland for the adults as well. Don't worry about that. A lot of fun to be had.
The surf's rolling in beautifully. Is this a surfer's paradise?
They don't call it surfer's paradise for nothing. Segued into that beautifully, Mr. Bishop. And we're back here getting ready for the action again in the milling area. And again, you just see how beautiful this area really looks. It's just stunning. Gold Coast of Australia. And we're proud to welcome round 4 of the UIM XCAT World Series to Australia and to the Gold Coast, of course.
Hey, where else would you want to be, Paul? Would you want to be anywhere else in the world right now? Now, you travel internationally, Formula One car racing is your thing, and you go to all these beautiful destinations in the world. Have you ever been to any better than this? No. I mean, the Gold Coast for me has been a favourite place for life, you know, and I think it'll always be like that. Every time you come back here, it's better, you know, and I've been doing it for that long now, and it's just extraordinarily good. But this is the place to be right now if you're into your aqua sport, your offshore racing, well, of course, racing inshore this time. We're going again with the run with Rahib and Global Marine. This is Fatima Al-Zabi, the UAE's first ever female powerboat pilot, and Abulatefa Al-Omani running the throttles there on that. And Dave? Yep, and of course the Global Racing machine there with Shawnee, Travis Thompson, I should say, and Roberto Elopino. So here we go. This looks like a little bit better setup now. Here we go. Green flags up. We're racing here on the Gold Coast on the Broadwater. That's a better start. Looks like the Rahib boat gets a cracking start there too. Does the Global Machine as they put the trim into these boats. The throttles get hammered down through the middle of the dashboard now. The throttle men just hard on it. Look at the trim on it. It looks like the Rahib boat's got some mumbo on the outside. They're pushing hard. They're opening up the gap on Global Marine. And the Rahib boat, chick power on the Gold Coast here this afternoon. Rahib takes the win over the Global Racing Machine.
Okay, ladies, let's hear a big cheer for that, because that is the UAE's first ever female pilot who has won a Speed Cat heat here at the Gold Coast. The first time here. That's the equivalent of a burnout with
absolutely. That's fantastic stuff.
Well done to Fatima Al-Zabi on that performance. Awesome. Yep.
First ever Arab lady to run in a powerboat event. I think probably a first win for her as well. And fantastic stuff. That what a great effort. The Global goes back. Those boys won't be happy to be knocked off. But, gee, that Rahib boat had some serious mid-range acceleration, didn't it, Paul? It was really, really solid.
But if girls need any inspiration of getting into any sort of motorsport or powerboating, look at that. You know, she's just started. And
look how they're running, too. Look at the footage there. They are absolutely just hanging that boat up on its gearboxes. That is absolutely throwing everything at it. Plenty of trim into the boat, and a great win there from the Rahib team.
Let's give you a run of our winners so far. So Abu Dhabi in Boat 5 won their heat. Boat 10, T-Bone Station, won their heat. Boat 6, called 6, the ex-Horse Boost XCAT, won their heat. And Rahib, number 17, you just saw then, won that heat now. So we've got another three heats to go now. And we can hear Pasquale Cesana, our official starter here and sporting director, making sure that everything's in order with our next two competitors.
Yelling at them to catch up. I've just had translation there. Catch up, you blokes. Paul, take it away, son.
He keeps them disciplined, doesn't he? And who we're seeing now is Boat 20 and Boat 7. That's Dubai. Dubai versus Marina Vestimenti Sul. And are we going? Yes, we are racing right now.
Racing.
Okay, didn't see the flag. There you go. Dubai gets a good start, but Marine Investimenti Sud is going hard. Have a look at the spray at the back of the Marine Investimenti Sud machine versus Dubai. Nothing in it. They've got a little bit of an edge here as they accelerate on towards the finish boys. Who's going to take it? Dubai's coming at him really hard now. Will it be Dubai? Will it be Marine Investimenti Sud? There is nothing in it. I can't even tell.
Nothing, and I think Dubai.
Oh, dear me.
Dubai
took the win. Dubai took the win. That's boat number 7. Salem Al-Adidi and Isa Al-Ali, the drivers who I told you that Salem is Isa's uncle. Okay,
yes.
So they're actually
those
related.
Piercing eyes, they would have been hanging out the front of the cockpit, I reckon, in that one.
They placed second in the XCAT World Series last season.
Look at this, look at the footage
Salem
here,
Al-Adidi did, yeah. Have a look at this gap here. Absolutely nothing in that at the very end. Didn't they accelerate so late? And then got that up a bit, probably higher than they wanted, but still managed to continue that acceleration now with our virtual eye coverage. Watch the acceleration from the start here. And off they go, and you can just see how quickly they move. There's a 3-metre gap between them at this point, 7 metres at this point, 140 kilometres per hour by the time they reach 11 metres gap between each other. And look at the top speeds, 163. And now watch the acceleration now, because Marine Investimenti Sud was coming at Dubai hard. And Dubai found that little bit more towards the end, 171, 172. Nothing in the pace at all there,
10
you know.
metres,
Very
9.
close.
They were closing on the line. They made up 2 metres just before the line. The Marine Investimenti Sud may be just a little bit over-propped, or, you know, just didn't get the acceleration. They had that top end, certainly had as much top end as the other boat, but not quite able to pip them on the line. So great job there to Team Dubai. Next team we have is ex-Dubai and the XCAT. So
the championship leaders,
yes,
with the pride of Sweden, XCAT, and that's Mikael Bengston and Eric Stark.
Good-looking roosters, aren't they, the Swiss?
They sure are.
Good-looking roosters.
Arif Al-Zafain and Nadir have been handling 2 most successful offshore powerboat races the world has ever seen, starting out of ex-Dubai in boat number 3. Take it away, Davey.
All right, well, let's have a look at this one. This is going to be pretty exciting. You would think that the ex-Dubai boat has just shown such form and such class. Can the Swiss team of the XCAT get the numbers done here this afternoon on the Broadwater at the Gold Coast at the inaugural XCAT World Championships?
The same 2 competed in the semi-final at Cascais, their last round in Portugal. There was absolutely nothing in it, Dave, so I'm just preparing you up. Take a deep breath. This is going to be amazing, Gold Coast.
I've had a cold all week, mate. This is doing my throat the world of good. I'll give you the tip. Here we go. Okay. Go. It's a call. Cracking start there from the XCAT now. The ex-Dubai boat gets up and away as well. They're copping a little bit of wash there from another boat or something that's gone through there as they charge hard. Let's have a look at this now. Ex-Dubai with a little bit of a break. Around about a boat length on the XCAT now. Charging down. The trim is high on these boats. They're throwing everything. Oh, ex-Dubai nearly blew it over. Unbelievable stuff. They come to the line. Ex-Dubai, you superstars. They take the win over the XCAT and they nearly binned it. Poor Marinelli, I need to lie down.
Yeah, you do that. That was extraordinary. They lifted so high. They got so much air under that.
Look at this.
I was looking at this thinking,
stood up. It stood up like a boat that wanted to blow itself over. Look at that. Just tiptoeing on its transom. These boys are on the ragged edge.
But it gives you an idea of just how skilled they they are. Did you see it riding on its props? And they still managed to keep it straight, keep it fast, and XCAT still couldn't, despite that disadvantage, couldn't make up that difference. So superb effort.
The interesting part about that too, Paul, is what a lot of people would think that when you're in a situation like that, you want to back off. What happens when you back off in a catamaran like that, when it's standing up, it chokes the air up and it blows over backwards. You have to keep the power on, keep the power into it, and try and level it off with the trim. That's what they did, handled it beautifully, but I nearly had a heart attack. I thought that was Gonski.
Fabulous Gold Coast. Now, if you look beyond the surface paradise, you'll see buildings way in the background. That's Tweed Heads, and that's near the border of New South Wales and Queensland here in Australia. And so it's how close we are to the southeast Queensland part of this state. The fabulous Gold Coast, Australia's playground, Australia's watercraft capital. And here we are with the XCAT run for the first ever time, round 4 of the UIM XCAT World Series right here on the Gold Coast. Our last 2 winners were Ahib in 17 and boat 7, that's Dubai, And boat 3, that's Dubai, the defending 3-time XCAT Series champions. Now we'll have the home team, Gold Coast Australia. Tom Barricotta and Ross Willerton versus Videx, the Cantiere Postiglione entry, LNL racing team out of Italy. It's Alfredo Amato and Joachim Kumlin, the Swedish highly successful racer, against our 2 Aussies, the local Gold Coast drivers. In Tom Barricotta, Ross Willerton, both of them extremely well established. Let's racing and let's go, go, go! And a great start there for 22. Videx gets off to a great start ahead of Gold Coast. Gold Coast knows these waters well, though, and they won't give up too easily. Look how stable Videx is. That's unbelievable what they've been able to do in this run so far. Gold Coast coming at them. Looking at it, it's very, very close. It's taking them, they're being very, very gradual about it. But it's close because LNL Racing, Videx moves up. Gold Coast gets close, but Videx has got a bit more power at the end. I think Videx just took that away from our home team. How dare you?
Oh, that's a bit rude, isn't it? But I tell you what, the Videx, what a run. And stood it up on the line as well. There's a bit of a headwind here, Paul. Please, you guys, be careful. No, unbelievable stuff.
They are climbing so much. Alfredo Amato and Joachim Kumlin, the pilot there. Amato, the throttle man. And you'll see here, Videx really got off to a great start.
Came right across as well, too. You watch this.
Moved quite in. And you look at Gold Coast Australia, and the gap was not much at all. You can see there, 3 metres, 2 metres, 1 metre.
Back to
0, so almost a dead heat.
At half track.
And then it started to change just fractionally. And look at those top speeds. Nothing in it between one of the best boats in the series and, of course, the Gold Coast machine, which is relatively new, of course. And there they were at the finish line. That's how it happened. And here we see again, getting some great air, keeping the throttles down exactly like Dubai.
Yeah.
And and again. Yeah, that was even more dramatic. And again, 3 times, 4 times.
They absolutely just made sure that they were on the bubble across the line there. And Team Videx and Team Gold Coast Australia, please, ladies and gentlemen, give them a round of applause because that was a storming race from both crews and absolutely nothing in it, just a hair's breadth across the line. But unfortunately, I think Gold Coast just pipped on the line there.
Okay, so we do have a repechage in this. It will be later, though, so we'll get ready for that. So first round winners, Abu Dhabi in boat 5 of the XCAT run. Boat number 10 took out the second round, and that is T-Bone Station with Giovanni Capitella and Darren Nicholson from Newcastle in Australia. Boat number 6 took out the third heat, and that being, of course, boat 6, a Nicolini offshore team, the Matteo Nicolini and Tommaso Poli. The next heat went to Rahib, and that's Fatima Al-Zabi, first ever Arabic female powerboat pilot, and Abulatif Al-Omani taking out that heating, scoring them a valuable extra championship point. Moving on, there was boat 7, boat 3, and boat 22. Our next winners there, so that's Dubai and Dubai, and of course Videx taking out their wins in their heats. Here we go again.
Okay, so we've got Team Abu Dhabi and T-Bone Station. So here we go. T-Bone Station to the starboard side of your screen, the right-hand side, and Abu Dhabi on the left. Go, 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 go is the call. So the big boys come out to play here on the Gold Coast on the Broadwater as they hammer the throttles to the stoppers now. Trim into the boats. Here we go. T-Bone Station with a cracking start. Plenty of acceleration out of that boat as they charge hard to the line. Have a look at this one now as they come down to the line. There's not a lot in this. I think Abu Dhabi have been smoked though. T-Bone Station takes the win comfortably over Abu Dhabi and progresses through to the next round. T-Bone Station, give them a big round of applause. And a very smooth run there as well from the boys.
Yeah, that looked really, really smooth, really precise. I don't think they really had anything to be overly concerned about on that run, and it just shows you where experience comes into it, doesn't it? Here's the virtual eye right now. And you'll
watch the jump. Watch the jump here off the line, Paul. You can see the gap just opens out. Plenty of acceleration from that T-Bone Station machine. 13 metres, 15, 16, 17, 18. They just keep making ground, this mid-track area. They're still making ground. They have absolutely got it all over the Abu Dhabi boat. Then the Abu Dhabi boat still getting, 37, 38, 39, 40 metres, 42 metres. Mate, the T-Bone Station was just absolutely on the numbers, and Abu Dhabi, all they could do was watch them drive into the distance.
third finisher in the XCAT World Series last season for Giovanni Capitella and Marco Panesi, who was his pilot last season. And Darren Nicholson from Newcastle doing a great job there, and they've already moved up into the third semi.
I reckon Big Daz will certainly have a smile on his face.
That's awesome, and he's also had a lot of offshore racing experience, and has also won a lot in yacht racing, Darren Nicholson. So nice to see the Australian involved here with such a great team, the Luca Fendi racing team, and the T-Bone Station XCAT number 10 making its way back in. You can see our Gold Coast machine there in the wet pits. That's known as the wet pits, that area, and another view of this fantastic Broadwater here at the Gold Coast, Surfers Paradise in the background, the SeaWorld theme park looking over to South Stradbroke Island, over to the left of our screen, and looking into the milling area now with their pace cats in the middle. And we're looking at who we should have here is boat 6 and 7. This is a 6, which is called 6 and Dubai. No, sorry, 6 and Rahib, excuse me. So boat number 17, Rahib. This is Fatima Al-Zabi having a go again, the pilot. Abulatif Alamani, the throttle man. And in boat 6, we have Matteo Nicolini and Tommaso Poli, the two Italians who were 5th in the XCAT World Series last season.
I reckon Matteo Nicolini will be enjoying the Gold Coast. This is his kind of place. I'll give you the tip, Paul.
I'm sure.
He'll be loving it.
Okay, Pasquale Zeno on board the Pace Cat. Let's see, getting ready to lift that flag once we've got the pilots perfectly lined up. Again, safety our first priority. And we're going. We're racing straight away. These guys are professionals. They got their line up perfectly. I think the jump went over to Fatima. She's really doing a great job there. Rahib, which means awesome in Arabic. They're doing an awesome job right now. But 6 is coming at them. They're not relieving the pressure. The water looks absolutely still not much spray or waves to contend with or anything like that. Keeping them very nice and stable all the way to the finish. But a look at 6. 6 is really gaining some momentum here. But yeah, a nice clear gap when we see it from the side there. Oh, and it's very, very close to the finish. But 6 took the win. Rahib now gets eliminated. Fatima, you've got a lot to be proud of. That is outstanding for the UAE's first ever female pilot to get as far as you got in one of your first ever XCAT World Series events. Well done, and extremely well done to the 6 crew, Matteo Nicolini, Tommaso Poli. And you'll see now what happened straight after the start. I thought that Rahib got the better start, but it looks now pretty clear that 6 was at them from the very go.
Rahib were just a little bit back on the line, and that's probably what cost them. And we'll just watch the gap opening out here as the race goes on. Out to 15, 16 metres there, the Rahib boat at 158 k's, where we've got 166 now for the 6 boat, and they just had that little bit more top end. So even with that slightly missed start, I don't think the Rahib boat would have had the top end to really get the numbers done as they come through the line. 170 k's an hour across the finish line, and yeah, that is absolutely smoking.
Let's remind everybody that is on water, so that's in the old language. It's 110 miles per hour, 170 kilometres per hour. That's extraordinary speed.
I can tell you from experience, Paul, the pucker factor comes into it, because in a car you can be going fast and you know what's in front of you. In a boat, you're just always waiting for that rogue wave to come through for you to hit it and for you to launch, you know. And these are the most treacherous conditions, because they're conditions that you can go fast, but there's also this rolling swell still coming in the seaway, and it's in the worst spot. It's on the finish line when you're doing 170, 180 kilometres an hour, and when you're going your quickest.
And hence why we've seen them fly so much towards the end. Obviously, they're going as fast as they possibly can, but they're getting that side-on swell.
Yeah, 100% right. Yeah,
okay, we're just about ready to do it all over again, my friend. The action never stops here at the XCAT World Series. Pasquale about to give them the go. This is boat 7 versus boat 3. Dubai versus ex-Dubai.
A lot of Dubai out here at the moment on the Gold Coast, and I'm sure our Dubai friends are just enjoying the beautiful conditions and the fun that we're having on the Gold Coast here today. Ex-Dubai to the right of your screen and Dubai to the left of your screen. Just waiting for a lineup now for these guys, and let's have a look at them. So these are 2 super quick boats. They'll be thinking about that little fly that they had in the ex-Dubai boat, and they'll be wanting to try and just run the boat maybe a little bit more level this time, but they'll also be very desperate and want to try and get the boat across the line in front of their compatriots. Go, 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 go is the call. We're away. Dubai gets a beautiful start. Ex-Dubai gets a good start as well. In fact, gunnel to gunnel, side by side, and deck to deck racing in the Speed Cat run now as we storm down the Broadwater here at the magnificent Gold Coast, and we are charging away. You couldn't fit a cigarette paper between them now as they come to the line. Dubai Dubai. I don't want to call it. It's going to be X Dubai by about a boat length over Dubai.
It's a flip
Dubai's
over.
gone over.
Oh my goodness.
Dubai's gone over.
There's been
on the line, a big crash for Dubai.
Okay, so it says
let's hope they're okay.
Pace Cat will be out there immediately. Our rescue crew, the Bergamo Dive Angels, will be out there immediately. That was right at the end. You were just making that point that at the fastest points when the swell hits, and over it went. We certainly hope everybody's all right. So we'll let our rescue crews do the job.
So the Dubai team, mate, these boats are very safe. They've got, as I said, 6,000 Newton-metre cockpits in them. They've got harnesses. They've got roll cages. The guys wear hands devices. They're harnessed into the boats. They've got escape strategies. There's divers on the course.
Yeah, they're all right. Okay, well, they're trending to the
Look at them, they're out of the boat.
One of the drivers is down, but he is out of the boat. There's Arif Al-Safain and Nadir bin Hendi out of X Dubai, but that was the Dubai boat that flipped over. Salem Al-Adidi and Isa Al-Ali, again, the uncle and nephew driving combination. Dramatic scenes here at the Gold Coast, the XCAT World Series. You know, when we're dealing with something this fast, this powerful, unfortunately, accidents are a part of motorsport, and you saw there any form of motorsport, whether it's on the water or on the road, and here with the surface that is variable, anything can happen, and usually does. And
you know what, Paul? That's exactly what we spoke about. It was as they came off the throttles that the boat stood up and went over. They backed off. They got through the run and lifted off the throttles, and that's when the nose picked itself up. Just bad timing, bit of wind, a swell, and bang, over backwards she went. So that's always the risk in catamarans and powerboat racing, is the blowover, and that's what the Dubai boys have experienced. Fortunately, they're both out of the cockpit, which is great news.
Yeah,
so let's hope they're okay.
And we hope they're okay. You know, that obviously we all love our sports. We all love it, the thrill of any sort of extreme sport like this, like the XCAT World Series. And of course, part of that, and the reason why it's called extreme, is that when things happen, they tend to be very extreme. And we know that we have a fantastic safety team. But let's look out over the Gold Coast now. That's Surfers Paradise. Every year that you come here, there's a new skyscraper, let me tell you. Every single year that you come here, sometimes 2 or 3. This place has grown and grown and grown. And as I mentioned earlier, Australia's favourite playground. And many families here, more than once or twice a year, come to this destination, along with people seeking to have fun, have a good time. There's things like Schoolies Week and all sorts of fun stuff that happens here.
And also, for me, Paul,
motor racing. They have a street circuit here for the last more than 20 years where they've held motorsports here. It used to be Indy cars that travelled here from the United States. Now it's V8 supercars. Here at the Gold Coast, there are events going all year round.
Yeah, no, absolutely right, mate. And it's obviously we're going to get these guys towed back in and get them back. But have a look at the Gold Coast just from up high there. And
well, let's have a look at some of the sites here. Okay, now we're going to come back to some footage here as we see Surfers Paradise, as we mentioned earlier.
That's where you and I are staying, Paul, at the SeaWorld there.
Here we are, both of them standing up, hugging
fantastic.
a kiss. They're okay. That's to the right is Isa Al-Ali, and to the left is Salem Al-Adidi. And they're okay, which is great to see.
Both the boys. Give them a round of applause, ladies and gentlemen, because that was as big as crash as you'll ever see in powerboat racing, and the boys walking away from it.
And you see our crew, the Bergamo Scuba Angels from the city of Bergamo in Italy. Now, these guys have won World Safety Awards for their efficiency in being able to retrieve people in all sorts of marine accidents or any problems out in the sea, and they're brilliant at what they do. I've been speaking to them a lot this weekend. Very, very passionate, and I want to make sure. Now, here's a replay now. So we'll see. We're heading towards the finish now.
Okay, let's have a look at this now. So we're going to look at the boat from the front now. What we spoke about, stood the boat up again. Okay, now it's got air under it. What happens? You come off the throttles and the wind chokes up in the tunnel and blows the boat over backwards. They've gone in backwards there. That's going to have done a lot of damage to the back of that boat. And, well, as we said, watching it now from this angle, you can see it stands on its props. And unfortunately, just missing the shot there. But
we're back.
yeah, they go back in. You can see how far the boat travelled through the air. No wash as it went in backwards. So
a tribute to the construction of these Victory boats,
so
because
strong.
that hit the water like an explosion, and the whole thing held together. I'm sure there's some damage, but the whole thing held together in one piece.
The cockpit,
and you know, that's vitally important for preserving the safety. Here we go again in real time. Here we go up again, up,
Big
and then
swell.
way over. Gathers the air as you point out, and over it goes. You can hear the crowd, the noises of people in the crowd, how panicked they were about that. And you know, I saw it from the corner of my eye here in commentary. I had to lean right over. I couldn't believe what I was seeing. It was unbelievable stuff, but there they are. They're perfectly all right, which is great to see.
You know what that was? It was just one of these rogue swells coming in. They hit the first one. The first one was really their problem, but they were just a little bit unlucky as well, because the boat came down, but it picked another one up as it came down, and that really picked the nose of the boat up. They did keep into the throttle. You could see it drove on its tail, but there was so much air trapped in that tunnel and choked up, it just couldn't save itself. Over it went backwards. So
bit of a lesson in aerodynamics for everybody there, that you know, you can engineer the airflow to a certain extent, but once something different happens and you lift too much, the air just picks you up and throws you over, and it's all the speed that you're doing. But incredible stuff. That's Abu Dhabi getting lifted up out of the water.
do you reckon those boys are going to be? Those boys will be absolutely shattered with that. I mean, I would say I don't think we'll see that boat run. Well, we won't see that boat run tomorrow.
Do you think this is that repairable sort of damage? Or,
the front, that's the front. It's upside down, so let's say it's the starboard sponson there. The nose is broken off the boat. There'll be a lot of damage to those engines as well. Obviously, just water ingress as well. That's 2 new power heads. The damage to the front of that hull, I can see the damage there, and it looks like it's had, you know, it's delaminated, which is, you know, that's just normal in an accident. That's like a panel getting bent on your car when you hit something. So there's a fair bit of damage to that boat. Those boys are really lucky. That was a huge crash, and no, I don't think we'll see that boat. Well, we definitely won't see that boat running tomorrow, Paul.
Okay, so you believe that from what you can see there?
Oh, absolutely. Look at the hole in that. In fact, both sponsons, both noses.
It's a shame because they were really wanting to do well here. They like the smoother conditions of this part of the course, I should say, and yeah, real shame. But look, you know, the main thing is that they're okay. And hello to everybody having a great time here at the Gold Coast. Look at the boats.
Yeah,
here,
they're enjoying it, aren't they? Having a great time. Good on you guys out there on the boat and having a fantastic time. But mate, it is, and we've said it 2 or 3 times now. But a couple of boys just here saying, you know, it is a real testament to the safety of these boats. And you know, once upon a time, I said to you, Paul, that you know, we ran around in boats with open cockpits, and you just fall out of them, and people got killed doing that sort of stuff.
You wouldn't have liked it in an accident like that. But the advanced composite materials that are used, the harnesses, the emphasis on total safety is very, very much a big part of what the XCAT World Series is all about, to make sure that people can compete in this fastest and most competitive of offshore powerboat racing series, but at the same time to ensure absolute safety at all times, which is why we have the Bergamo Scuba Angels here. We have a number of people in the safety committee to make sure that these things can be dealt with. But the engineering of the XCATs, both the Victory and the Doug Wright boats, Victory boats made in Dubai, the Doug Wright boats made in the USA, you know, safety, absolute priority.
Gives you a good idea just looking at that shot there of the steps under the boat. We spoke about those. They're there to aerate the hull and break surface tension. Really graphic illustration of that there on the screen at the moment. Mate, I have to apologise too. I've had a cold all week, and the old voice gave out right at the critical moment as the boys went up into the air. But wow, that's the excitement level, isn't it?
You can be forgiven for given what happened out there. A bit of fishing going on, so we're not scaring off the fish, which is a great thing. Hope you're catching. Enjoy the Gold Coast. So much fun happening, you know, for all ages. Look at the surfers up there on the beach. And
a couple of girls there enjoying the ambience, aren't they?
Yeah, and beautiful weather. I mean, it's warmed up immensely since yesterday and this morning, and this is the way we like to showcase Australia's favourite playground to you. Blue skies, beautiful oceans and backwaters and beaches, and fantastic sky-rise buildings. Amazing place to come and visit, and an amazing place, and we're delighted to welcome to this amazing place round 4 of the UIM XCAT World Series here at the Gold Coast. This is round 4. They started the season off at Fujairah in the United Arab Emirates in February. Pole position in the Speed Cat run there went to ex-Dubai, but the GP was won by the Abu Dhabi team. And round 2 was held in Dubai, the first of 2 rounds to be held in Dubai, March 19 to 21. pole there, once again, went to X Dubai. You're going to hear this a lot. And the Speed Cat run went to X Dubai as well. GP winner, I'll give you one guess, Dave.
Was it X Dubai?
Oh, mate, you're a genius. Round 3, Cascais in Portugal, or Cascais, depending where you're from. Pole went to X Dubai, Speed Cat run went to X Dubai, and the GP went to them as well. Of course, we're here for round 4, the Gold Coast, Australia. We're so proud to have you here. And the next round is at a very luxurious place. Probably gives this place a little run for the money. The French Riviera, Nice in France, October 16 to 18. From there, it's back to Dubai in the United Arab Emirates from November 19 to 21 for round 6. And the 7th and final round to be held in Abu Dhabi, November 25 to 27. And you can follow this entire XCAT World Series online at xcatracing.com with direct links over to YouTube, live coverage from all of the events. So if you like what you see, there's plenty more to see online as well. Of course, broadcast into many, many countries around the world as well, and very, very popular amongst millions and millions of fans, not only in the Middle East and not only in this part of the world, but also throughout Europe. And given the 5 Italian teams and the number of other teams we've got from Spain, Kuwait, France, Sweden as well, all represented in the series. Obviously, with that, you get those fans as well as Bisho's fans.
Yeah, both of them.
And there's
my girls at home.
I think you'd be too scared to ride on, Bisho. That's the,
I wouldn't get on that if my life depended on it, Mr. Marinelli.
The roller coaster dinghy there at SeaWorld, and unbelievable stuff there. But
I'd rather be in an XCAT.
If you do it, I'll do it.
Yeah, okay. Well, you won't be doing it because I won't be doing it. If I'm not driving, I'm not interested.
A great indication here: the Pacific Ocean, the waves coming in, how magnificent that looks, and then over to where we are is virtually behind this whole SeaWorld complex here over at the Brawl Water, and you can see how big SeaWorld actually is. And
massive. They do a great job too, don't they, SeaWorld, with all their marine research and conservation and everything they do with dolphins and all the marine animals, and just an absolute credit to the team down there at SeaWorld. And not only that, it's a commercially viable operation. So, and very nice spot where we're staying as well, Paul.
Yeah, very, very nice indeed. It's always nice here at the Gold Coast. There's so many great places to stay and have fun, and for any budget, we should say as well. So there is Dubai, not looking its best at the moment, upside down.
Yeah, it's not the way you want to see them.
Yeah, but
look, the guys will get this out of the water fairly quick, Paul, but we won't see that boat again over the weekend, which is a real shame. They were one of the red-hot contenders in this, and, gee, they gave X Dubai a serious run for their money. And I'll tell you what, X Dubai were pretty lucky not to have done the same thing on the previous run that they had. And
we should put our hands together because the guys are back on dry land now. So good to see Salem Al-Adidi, Isa Al-Ali. They're perfectly all right. There they are. Well, in fact, Isa Al-Ali might need a bit of treatment there because you see him sitting on the stretcher. And I noticed one of the guys was really focused on him and asking him questions. So obviously trying to keep him alert and make sure that maybe he's had a little bit of a knockdown.
Oh, look,
no, he looks okay. He looks okay.
The other thing too, I mean, and they're going to take no risks at all. You know, they'd be worried about any sort of spine injuries and bits and pieces like that. And you just don't know. These boys will still be in shock, and they'll get them to hospital and just check them out, I think.
David, tell me something. Like, you've been in an accident situation before. Yes. What would it feel like in the cabin when that happens? You know, a mixture of, look, I'm all right, am I angry? I can't believe what's just happened. Like, what goes through your mind?
Well,
Tell us about it.
I've only ever had the misfortune to crash open cockpit boats. So every time I've crashed, probably the first thing I've thought is, gee, it's cold. And then and then am I injured? And yeah, a couple of times I have been. A couple of times I've been very lucky to sort of get out. But look, it goes dark pretty quick. I know I've been in a couple of open boats that have been over. I've been stuck underneath them, and you know, it's a pretty dark, lonely world under there for a couple of seconds, and it feels like minutes.
Now, while I know you haven't driven an XCAT boat, but upside down, open the hatches, out you go. We saw how quickly the pilot and throttle man were on the hull, on the bottom of the hull. So it's a very quick release sort of situation.
Yeah, they have a 5-point racing harness, and it's just much like in a race car, which would be exactly the same actually. So it just has a lever, you just clip it, and all 5 just bang, they pop apart. The guys have got air, they've got masks on, so they're breathing oxygen the whole time. They've actually got an inversion switch on their air system, so if the boat goes upside down, the air automatically comes on. So as soon as they're upside down, they're breathing oxygen from the tank. Okay. So, and the reason for that is, it's all fine to have a regulator strapped to your leg and put it in your mouth when you've had a crash. No good if you're unconscious or knocked out. So that's why they have the masks on nowadays. So if they are knocked out and unconscious, they're still breathing oxygen under there. Obviously, both the boys, you know, they both knew where they were and what was going on. But the disorientation is the big thing. You still think that you want to get out the hatch above you, but now that hatch is below you, even though it's above your head, because you're upside down. So you need to do a little somersault. You need to open the hatch, which is in the floor, which is now the top of the boat, climb out into the tunnel, which is exactly what the boys did. And the disorientation is probably the big thing for them.
And we're just waiting for the medical team to get back up to the area, so before we can get going again. But these are the two who will be next going. So the repechage went to boat 22. So he's the driver who gets another chance at it because of the uneven number of competitors we have at this point.
There you go.
So this is Marine Investimenti, Videx, I should say, Cantiere Postiglione entry, the LNL racing team out of Italy. Alfredo Amato and Joachim Kumlin out of Sweden. Amato out of Italy. Amato is the throttleman. Kumlin is the pilot, and they will be taking on. Boat number 6, I believe. From what I can see there. We'll just
having a look now, mate. We'll pick them up as they head out to the start area and out of the milling area.
Come on.
Let's have a look at them now. So the Pace Cat now lifts itself up onto the plane. The big Verado Mercury's doing their job. And Paul, we've just had a bit of an update.
Some news from Sid Bensala, who tells me the victory team are committed to work all night and do whatever it takes to get that boat back out there tomorrow for round 4.
Don't muck around here. Get out there and
UIM
work on
XCAT
that boat,
World
brother.
Series. Thank you for that update, Sid. And that is extraordinary stuff. So they are committed. He just said the team are going to work all night, do whatever it takes. I'm sure that other teams are going to help as well.
Yep.
Hopefully we've got them back out there.
You and I be down there, Paul.
Oh, maybe you should be out there helping them out,
maybe.
mate. A bit of gaffer tape, Australian style.
Oh, bang a power out on for him. How hard can it be? All right, here we go. So Marine Investimenti Sud and Videx are the two boats that we are looking for.
20 and 22, Marine Investimenti Sud. And that's piloted by Alfredo Amato and Joachim Kumlin, as I mentioned earlier. Here we go to line them up. Boat 20, Stefano Ballesi and Alessandro Barone. So we're waiting for them to get lined up. That's Pasquale Cesano, official starter. So once they are perfectly in line, it's looking pretty neat at the moment. We'll be going once again 20 versus 22. The two Italian teams are going to fight this out. 5 Italian teams in XCAT World Series. Here are 2 of them. We're going to drag race here in Australia. And off we go now, 20 and 22. Have a listen to that start. Oh, beautiful start there by Marine Investimenti Sud. Awesome little performance there. And having a look at Videx at the moment, that gap is huge. I think they missed that start by a mile by the looks of it. But on and on and on goes Marine Investimenti Sud. They're enjoying this. They're loving this. Gee, they weren't phased by that by what happened before, because they're flat out through that swell area, heading towards the finish now. They are going to take this via country mile. Marine Investimenti Sud takes that win. Boat number 20, the Servizi Fondiari racing team out of Italy. Serafino Ballesi and Alessandro Barone on the throttles. Ballesi, the pilot, the 7th place XCAT World Series team from last season. Well done, guys. You move up out of that as a result of that repechage.
Gee, it's a slick machine, isn't it? The Marine Investimenti Sud, and they are going to go into the next heat with X Dubai. So we're going to see if they've got the mumbo to go with the big boys of the operation at the moment, the guys that have got it all before them, the X Dubai. So Marine Investimenti Sud taking the win, and Videx, that is their day done and dusted, Mr. Marinelli. Please give them a big round of applause.
Heading towards the finish, 60 metres.
Yeah.
60 metres out there, 62, still increasing the speed, 168, 169.
Speed's the same,
yeah,
which
almost
is interesting.
Identical, but look at that gap, and that was all, I think, from the start, just the way that they grabbed. And it's that reaction time, like in drag racing with cars, that RT as they call it, that reaction time, that when that flag goes up, and they also get the audio from Pasquale as well, so it's not as if one sees it first, they all hear it at the exact same time as we hear it too through our comms. Off you go, and when you get that jump, if you don't get it absolutely right at that right moment, you pay the price. But good effort there by Videx, and we'll see them in the race tomorrow, of course. But they've done a good job to get as far as they have. So our remaining boats are T-Bone Station, boat number 10. Boat number 6 was, of course, 6.
6, the Horse and Boost 6.
I took so long to try and memorise Horse and Boost.
I know, it's a hard one to pronounce too.
X Dubai also, and boat number 3 will be up to the next round. And boat number 20, as we just saw, Marine Investimenti Sud. Take it away, Dave, for our next XCAT run here on the fabulous Gold Coast.
T-Bone Station getting the call up. Come on, boys, get up there. We need you nose to nose, gunnel to gunnel, and deck to deck here on one of the final speed cat runs. Boat number 6 and the T-Bone Station. absolutely ready to go. Let's have a look at this one now. Not long to go now as they bring them down the Broadwater. Looking absolutely magnificent here on the Gold Coast, just past SeaWorld here in Australia, in beautiful Queensland. Have a look at now, T-Bone Station coming right alongside the start. Cat now the pace, Cat. T-Bone Station looking like they're good. Go, 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 go! Go is a call. T-Bone gets an absolutely cracking start. Plenty of acceleration out of this boat now as boat 6 tries to go with him. This is absolutely gunnel to gunnel, but it looks like the T-Bone Station has got plenty of pace now as they charge up the straight. The hammers are down, the trim is up. Are they thinking about that big blowover of the Dubai boat? Only time will tell. It doesn't look that way, but it's going to be T-Bone Station all the way over boat number 6, the Horse and Bush. And they have a big fly over the line too, Paul. Wow, exciting racing, but T-Bone Station advances to the next round.
Our Italian fans will be very pleased with that. There's the Italian flag there on the back of T-Bone Station, the Luca Fendi Racing Team entry. Owned
Not
by
to mention our Australians, Darren Nicholson.
Luca Formelli Fendi, the team owner, and Darren Nicholson out of Newcastle, is the pilot of that boat. And Giovanni Capitella, the throttle man. Third finisher last season in the XCAT World Series. Capitella with Marco Panesi, another Italian, and we see on our virtual eye replay that gap extending beautifully. Fantastically done by T-Bone Station, and a great job for Darryl Nicholson in his first ever XCAT World Series race, and paired with Giovanni Capitello, who he's never competed with before. So extraordinary stuff. The Aussies doing us proud out here.
Yeah, not only that, mate, and, you know, we've spoken about it a couple of times, that, you know, Darren's had a huge crash only last week in Coffs Harbour, and to, you know, get his head right, get it sorted. I mean, he's got a very damaged boat back in his own workshop. He's trying to get that sorted out. You know, he's still thinking about the crash, and, you know, just to have him out there and running around and doing really well. And look at this, boat 6, nearly just taking a couple of big hits across the line as well. And yeah, gee, we're really cautious of that finish line now, aren't we?
Oh, we are indeed, but you know, they wouldn't be real racers if they didn't go out there and push even harder, because that's what they do. That's what these guys are brilliant at, and that's why we admire them so much. The XCAT World Series. This is round 4 for the UIM XCAT World Series right here on the Gold Coast, Australia's favourite playground, the water sporting capital of this country. So we're riding on board now and expecting to see boat number 3, which is our champions, Dubai. They've won everything this season except the opening GP at Fujairah. That went to Abu Dhabi team.
With that rolling swell running through there too, Paul.
And they come up against Marine Investimenti Sud, who haven't had much time to recover after that last run they just went on. So hopefully they're feeling a bit confident, Marine Investi Sud. But Dubai, they're coming up against the best in the sport. It's all about reaction time. Pasquale Cesano lining them up, asking them to get closer. So there's the communication. You can hear that. There we go. So we're almost ready to get going. This is going to determine who ends up in the SpeedCat Run final and takes the maximum points. There's 4 bonus championship points for the overall winner. So you add that to every point they've got. Getting to this point, you can take as many as 8 points home towards your championship, which is extraordinary. Here we go right now. Dubai get a fantastic start, as they always do. But no, I get that wrong, because the jump also went to Marine Investimenti Sud. They picked up that start better than the champions, the 3-time XCAT champions. Can they be beaten in this XCAT run? Can it happen? Can the Italians beat Dubai? Is it possible? We're looking at this absolutely flat out, but Dubai is really on the hammer too. Now Dubai's got a little bit of a gap. Marine Investimenti Sud has won.
That was
unbelievable. Close. I mean, from the angle I'm looking at.
Well, I was watching out the window, mate. We've got a screen here, we've got a window here. I'm lined up with the finish line. I don't know.
That is an incredible upset. The 3-time XCAT champions have been beaten by Italian team Marine Investimenti Sud in the SpeedCat run. They advance to the final. Have a look at this at the finish. Dubai seem to have that gap, but gee, they come on strong at acceleration right at the end. Look how stable that boat is in the roughest part. Flew through the finish boys. It was actually airborne as they just got to those finishing boys. That was incredible stuff. Well done. Boat number 20, Marine Investimenti Sud, Serafino Ballesi and Alessandro Barone, throttle man. Ballesi, the pilot, 7th place XCAT World Series team from last season. And Barone, who raced the 3rd in the 2009 Class 3 3-litre World Championship and runner-up at both 2012 and 2014 Offshore 3000 Italian Championships. These guys are so good. So,
Give them a round of applause, ladies and gentlemen, as they come through. Marine Investimenti sort of knocking off the big guns.
Everybody thought boat 3 was going to take that by a country mile. It didn't happen. And for our final XCAT run here on the Gold Coast, the first time ever for the XCAT World Series, will be boat number 10, T-Bone Station, with Darren Nicholson on board and Giovanni Capitella. So Australia is involved in this final. And boat number 20, Marine Investimenti Sud, the Servizi Fondiari racing team, versus the Luca Fendi racing team from the famous Fendi fashion house family. That is them, actually. And Luca Fendi is the grandson of the founders of the Fendi company, which are all the females. They will be more than well aware of the ladies out there will be more well aware of the Fendi brand, and so would the guys, because a lot of them have had to buy the stuff too. It's absolutely beautiful.
Are a fountain, Paul Marinelli. You're an absolute fountain.
Oh, I just love Fendi.
I can't afford it.
I went over there looking for an espresso because he makes the best espressos in pit lane, Giovanni Capitella.
How'd you go? You make you one?
No, not yet.
No, we'll work on him on that one. A few of the boys are going to be working pretty hard tonight in the pits. So let's have a look at this one now. T-Bone Station.
This race is for 3rd and 4th place, okay?
Okay,
so
6 and X Dubai.
4th place in the XCAT run results for round 4.
Okay,
the Gold
so
Coast Grand Prix for the XCAT World Series.
Loser of this goes bumped back out into 4th spot. Winner goes into 3rd, and it is the X Dubai. Just going to the starboard side there of the Pace Cat now, and just picking them up as we come into the starting area. And boat 6 now.
Way out of line, but way out of line. Pasquale's going to get very upset. Hear him? We can hear him over the radio. He's telling him, come on, get in line, you know. But yeah, they were way out from the start, but here we go.
Here we go. Okay, let's see what we can cobble together here at the moment. Boat 6 and X Dubai. The X Dubai boys won't be happy running here for a 3rd and 4th spot at the moment. They'll certainly want to win this one. Go is the call. Who can get the jump? Who can get the break? X Dubai has plenty of acceleration off the line, but I tell you what, boat 6 isn't letting them get away with it that easy. The X Dubai boat now with about a half a boat length on boat 6 as they come through the halfway mark. The trap slam shut now. A couple of swells running through there as well. They need to be a little bit careful, but it looks like the X Dubai charging hard, and X Dubai by around about 3 boat lengths across the line over boat 6. So X Dubai up into 3rd place. And that was a good run there for X Dubai, but I don't think they're going to be happy being back in 3rd spot, Mr. Marinelli.
It's not somewhere that they're used to being, that's for sure, but it just shows you why the XCAT run is so good, because it doesn't matter how high you are in the championship, how successful you are, you can be beaten.
Yeah,
that's what this proves. You can be beaten.
Yep.
And that's what we like. We like competitiveness, and I'm sure that they want the competition thrown at them too. And yeah, amazing stuff, but great chance to pick up so many bonus points by a number of our competitors.
Just having a look at the start here, and maybe boat number 6 a little bit behind the 8 ball there on the kick as they got away. I think the X Dubai boat was probably about a half a boat length in front of 6 when they got going. So interesting one, that one, but they certainly weren't ever headed as they went through the halfway mark there and on their merry way to a victory in that heat.
And the way that looks, it's more 6's fault than anybody else. Of course, X Dubai got that start nailed. 6 wasn't ready for it, and this is what this is all about, or got it wrong, whatever you want to say. But definitely 6 at fault there for not really getting off when they should have, and handing that win over to X Dubai. But
yes,
yeah, not for the overall win though, because they were beaten to that.
No, X Dubai, they'll... oh, look, they'll be reasonably happy, but I think number 1 spot is all they come here for. They certainly don't come here to make up the numbers, that's for sure.
The fans loving it here on Australia's fabulous Gold Coast, and a lot of people here having a great time. The sun has come out. We haven't seen the sun for a couple of days, but it's come out well and truly for the UIM XCAT World Series, the 4th round. So here we go. This is T-Bone Station versus Marine Investimenti Sud. This is to take out the overall XCAT run. Pasquale's calling them in. He's got his thumbs up. He's saying, come on, a bit closer, a bit faster. Line yourselves up. Thumbs up to everyone, checking that they're okay and ready to go. Let's see what happens with the green flag. This is the XCAT run final for round 4 of the XCAT World Series here at the Gold Coast. The Grand Prix is on tomorrow. That is going to be amazing. More on that later.
Winner takes all in this one, Paul.
That's right. This is it. This is 4 bonus points plus points to get to this point. So a lot of use of the word point there, but yeah, many points to be gained by the winner. We're racing now. T-Bone Station gets going. Let's have a look. Marine Investimenti Sud got the jump on them at the start. This is extraordinary for the two Italian teams side by side. We've got people in Italy throwing their pillows at the TV right now. This is unbelievable stuff. They're looking at this. They don't know who to barrack for. Even our Italians here at the Gold Coast, there's nothing in it, but I think T-Bone Station has that edge as we head toward the finishing buoy. Have a look there. T-Bone Station half a mile in front.
Darren
They're coming at him.
T-Bone Station.
T-Bone Station gets it done. Speed Cat Run champions for round 4.
And we've got an Aussie on the podium, Paul.
The XCAT World Series, and we do have an Aussie on the podium, and Darren Nicholson from Newcastle.
My man.
A bit further south here. There's Dave, mate, you're loving it, aren't you?
My man, big Darren Nicholson, the nicest man in powerboat racing.
A bit further south from us, Newcastle, another beautiful beach town in New South Wales. Let's have a look at the virtual eye now. Marine Investimenti Sud got a very, very nice start, but T-Bone Station, the acceleration after the 90-kilometre-an-hour point was just extraordinary. And off they went and built on that gap, 10, 12. Now, it's amazing how deceiving it can be from the side. I actually thought it was a lot closer than 16 metres by this point, but up to 170 kilometres per hour now, 172, 173, and that gap just grew. And look how Marine Investimenti Sud slowed up towards the end. That gap just increased incredibly towards the end there, but the top speeds were virtually the same. And T-Bone Station, Giovanni Capitella and Darren Nicholson. So, of course, the Italian and the Australian. Capitella, the throttle man, Darren Nicholson, the pilot. What an amazing debut for him in the XCAT World Series. They are the Speed Cat Run champions. They've collected another 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 points for their trouble.
Watch this. Darren Nicholson's given the cameraman here a big fright as they've come through. We've had a bit of word from our cameraman that he's had to go and see the Gold Coast dry cleaners after that one. And
Mate,
Nicholson.
that is how he gets the close-ups, and that's how the XCAT World Series looks. How close was that?
Got their
Up on the hatch now, what Giovanni's going to be wrapped with. So will Darren. And hands together for Capitella and Nicholson.
Give him a round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. Capitella and Nicholson, T-Bone Station, taking the win here in the Speed Cat Run at the inaugural XCAT's World Championships here on the Broadwater of the Gold Coast in beautiful Queensland.
Now, that gives T-Bone Station another 8 points, so they're currently at 35 points. This is going to elevate them quite significantly up through the order. So they'll move up into the order of around 5th or 6th as a result of that, into the top 5 in the championship, just as a result of the Speed Cat Run. So any more points they get tomorrow brings Giovanni Capitella way back into the standings. And remember, they've had a couple of race retirements this season when they were running at the front.
That's what I was about to say, mate. You brought that up earlier on, that they've had some bad luck. This is a little bit of, well, not good luck, good management now today, and that certainly helps them with their points table and their points championship. So great effort from the boys there. Never say die attitude. And you can see the Dubai boat there now being lifted out of the water. There is a lot of damage on the back of that boat. We saw it did back in, so I knew the cowls would be absolutely shredded. Look at the canopy though, mate. That is absolutely 100% intact. No problem at all.
Let's have a look when they lifted it out of the water. We'll see that in a moment on our screens as Marine Investimenti Sud coming in. And they did a great job to finish second in the Speed Cat Run. Take nothing away from them. Here it is getting lifted out and over. So yeah, as you say, the cockpit perfectly intact. That whole area, in fact, the both hulls on both sides perfectly intact. Front and rear, lots of damage, but they'll be up all night, and I'm sure there'll be lots of guys from the other teams to help them get all that water out of the boat for a start, and see if they can work all night to get that back on. Sid Benzala thinks they can do it, and he would know. So I'm certainly hoping that they do, because that'd be a story and a half. Us Australians love a battler coming back from something like this.
That'd be amazing. It'll make a liar of me as well, because I looked at it.
Giovanni Capitella there, you can see on his bow with a big smile on his face.
He'll
nice
be
and
wrapped.
happy.
He'll be absolutely wrapped with that, and so he should be.
And I hope Darren Nicholson gets a bonus for that, perhaps a meat pie or something for his effort.
I'd love a good meat pie, Mr. Nicholson. He's
and is that Darren there?
That's Darren, a very
Nicholson,
tall, good-looking man. And
the white and black race overall standing on top of T-Bone Station. I'm sure he can't believe his luck as well, and we know how skilled he is, but what a great opportunity.
So we're going to have a look at how that affects the points now, Paul. So let's have a look at this one. Sitting at top of the table still is X Dubai. Then we've got the Abu Dhabi team moving into position number 2. Boat 6 into position 3. Then in 4th, we got the Dubai boat. Let's hope they can get that back on the water. XCAT Racing into 5th. 6 is Marine Investimenti Sud. Then it's a T-Bone Station, the Videx, the Yachts, Team Saracen Australia down there in 10th. Lady Spain 11. Mowad, who are not here this weekend, in 12th. Rahib in 13th. And Global Marine 14th, 15th. Gold Coast Australia, of course, in their first full hit out here this weekend at the XCAT Championship. So, Paul, it's starting to get very, very interesting.
That result elevated T-Bone Station from 10th to 7th because of the points that the other guys picked up, particularly Marine Investimenti Sud. Awesome job there. So they remain at 6, but yeah, I mean, there's still 3 points at the top of the table, and looking down, there's not many points between our top 5, 6, 7, of course, for the Grand Prix tomorrow, which is going to be an extraordinary experience. But on T-Bone Station, and telling you about Mr. Capitella, Giovanni, he won the where are we here? On having a look at what he's done here. 2010 Endurance A Italian Championship, 11 championship podium finishes ranging from Class 1 to Class 3 from 2006 through to 2014. There he is walking along our wet pit area there. Darren Nicholson behind from an Italian town called Newcastle. And the Luca Fendi racing team, I'm sure the crew's bringing up Luca Formili Fendi, who is an established racer, offshore powerboat racer himself, and giving him the great news as to what has taken place here. So hopefully this is the turnaround in the season that Giovanni Capitella really needs in the Luca Fendi racing team, because they have had some shocking luck after displaying some incredible pace throughout the season there. Now, Darren Nicholson, tell us a bit about him, Dave, and his background and what he's done. Yeah,
Darren's an interesting guy. He's very, very quietly spoken, lovely fella, and he actually comes from the yachting world. He raced maxi yachts, offshore ocean racing, and did that for many, many years. And then the offshore powerboat racing bug bit him. He got involved with the Maritimo team and Bill Barry Cotter, of course, Tom's father, who is one of the doyens of offshore powerboat racing in Australia. And he's certainly come a long way in his offshore powerboat racing career, doing a great job taking the win here today.
Well, there were certainly lots of highlights in that XCAT run. Let's have a look at some of those highlights on the super screen right now. There were plenty going off. Let's take a look at what happened here. So is everybody getting ready and formed up in the milling area, as we call it, here in the Gold Coast Broadwater? You can see all the fans getting on their boats, some of them fishing while they're enjoying the action, looking at it from Doug Jennings Park, which is the area where we're at, here at the Gold Coast Spit, as it's called. And here we see some of the finishes there from the start. They're airborne there for 6. Look at that side on it, just keeping the power on all the way out. You can't afford to back it off. There was the false start that we saw earlier on. So, again...
That threw a spanner in the works, didn't it?
It certainly did. It certainly did. But Global Marine just went for it, and unfortunately, we were told they had to come back and do it all over again.
Oh, the big stand up there from X Dubai. That was exciting, wasn't it?
What do you call a mono for one of these things?
A mono.
A mono. There you go, very technical term. So,
just standing the boat right
up on the back. Look at Videx.
Oh, we saw plenty of them do it, didn't we? And then it culminated in this one here, which was the blowover of blowovers. That is massive. And that beautiful victory catamaran just copping a big hit as it went in backwards, and fortunately both the boys okay.
No doubt that'll be on websites and news.
You'll see that everywhere.
All over Australia and all over the world, there's no doubt about that. But thankfully the guys are okay. They got out very quickly. There they were when they first got out. And this is
lying down there.
Isa Al-Ali and Salem Al-Adidi from Dubai, and then we continued on from there. And Marine Investimenti Sud really impressed me with how they took on those last heats. Yep. There's what's left of Dubai, the accident, which again, the cockpit area perfectly intact, very, very safe.
I tell you what, you think drag racing and you think, oh, it's probably, you know, pretty sedate. They're just going to go in a straight line, cross the finish line, everything's cool. But this course really lent itself to a lot of action, especially across the finish line as we're watching, you know, T-Bone Station now just jumping and leaping. Darren Nicholson giving the cameraman a little bit of a show there as well, and maybe even a little bit of a shower. I heard that particular cameraman hadn't had a shower for 3 weeks, and Darren knew about it, so he's just sorting him out there.
Right, okay. An
But,
Aussie, an Aussie helping an Aussie.
just helping him out.
How close? That close. Yeah.
Yeah, no, but
there's the view of the cranes taking over from the wet pits. That's a great view there into the dry pits, and that's that whole Doug Jennings Park area where all the fans are having fun. Helicopter pilot has done an outstanding job with all of our coverage today. You wait till you see tomorrow when we're racing out in the open ocean as well, out into the Pacific Ocean and then into this area as well for 15 laps. There'll be 2 compulsory long laps in the race tomorrow in the Grand Prix, in the the first ever UIM XCAT World Series Gold Coast Grand Prix. 2 compulsory long laps. That's very much like a compulsory pit stop in motorsport or a joker in rallying. So to even the field up, at some stage during the race, each competitor must do 2 longer laps. They're around about another 400 to 600 metres longer than the original course, usually around a hairpin area. And back in, and then of course you've got the rest of the race laps. You have penalty laps as well. If Pasquale thinks you've done something wrong, you will then have to do a long lap, another one as well. But it makes the racing fierce, it makes it competitive. We will go through tomorrow how the starting procedure will work in the various different gates. Obviously the top qualifiers will have a shorter run into the first turn, and then it works for the next 5 and the next 5 beyond there.
Paul, I just need to say, you know, you've been involved in car racing a long time, and you know the turn number 1 in car racing is where it all goes on. Well, nothing's going to be any different here tomorrow. When 14 of these XCATs come into turn number 1 and they'll all be jostling for position, you'd think it's been exciting. We've effectively today just been watching one boat at a time, and that's how exciting's that been. I lost my voice. Well, tomorrow it's going to be even bigger because we are going to see some amazing racing from these guys. I just think
the whole concept of drag racing on the water is just extraordinary. It just really shows you the outright speed, the acceleration, and the skill. And there is skill, right? The driver's going to keep it straight. We're getting ready for our podium, our XCAT prize-giving ceremony now. The ex-Dubai drivers there, Arif Al-Safain and Nadir bin Hindi, moving up to the podium now. Now, this is happening in the huge tent here, the entertainment area.
If you're local here.
Yeah, the entertainment area there in Doug Jennings Park. And alongside them, of course, Abu Dhabi, Team Abu Dhabi, Arif Al-Safain, Rashid Altaya and Faleh Al-Mansouri. And alongside them, with the Gold Coast Australia team, it did us very, very proud indeed, didn't we?
Yeah, we're just obviously watching the footage here, but hey, if you're around and you're just watching down here, get over and watch the big screen, and the prize-giving ceremony is about to begin.
So there's T-Bone Station, the Italian boat, Luca Fendi Racing, coming in after taking out the XCAT run. So you get to see all this from the wet pit area, and from that area you can see them fly over your head on these crowns, over these cranes, and in they go. They make some repairs and off they go. Okay, this is how everybody qualified, how they're going to line up for the race tomorrow. Ex-Dubai will start out at pole. Alongside them will be Abu Dhabi team, and third on the grid, doing us very proud, Gold Coast Australia team starting out at third. T-Bone Station out of fourth, and Lady Spain out of fifth makes up our first gate of competitors that'll head into turn 1 with the closest line in. Lady Spain starts out of fifth, Dubai starts out of 6th on the grid, 6th starts out of 7th on the grid, and Yachts starts out of 8th on the grid. And that's how that will work. And
Dubai, Arif Al-Safain and Nadir bin Hindi. Ladies and gentlemen, big applause.
Yeah, the pole position order for tomorrow, the prize giving taking place right now, and surfboards, which are traditional for the Gold Coast. It's been used at the Gold Coast Indy for more than 20 years, so it's a very, very apt. It's certainly a trophy that's very hard to fit as onboard baggage when you're going home.
And then again, if you're in the boats, I reckon.
If you have your own private jet, it doesn't matter too much, but they're beautiful. It's a great insignia of the Gold Coast, getting a surfboard as your trophy.
The boys would be very happy with that. They might go pull them out and go for a surf later on.
There's many motor racing drivers I've worked with through the years, and you go into their house and they're full of these surfboards, you know, and they're so proud of them.
Yeah.
And it's just a great and unique way to showcase the Gold Coast to the world. And
surfer's paradise.
Nice way to do it,
isn't it, eh?
Yeah,
we might go and see if any of the Arab boys are having a bit of a surf a bit later on tonight. Maybe you might see them out there having a paddle.
Conditions absolutely pristine for surfing, swimming, having all sorts of water sports and fun. And once again, we see the
XCAT run presentation now.
XCAT run presentation taking place.
And third, the ex-Dubai pilots.
Arif Al-Safain and Nadir bin Hindi.
Boat 20, Serafino Barlesi and Alexandro Baron in the second position.
Marine Investimenti Sud boys, we see get up there. And did a great job that they did as well for second.
That was an awesome run for those boys.
Oh, sorry, I should say for third.
And it's their best result for the season as well in the Speed Cat run. So they'll be pretty happy with that, I think, Paul.
Well, they certainly outplayed a lot of people have thought otherwise.
T-Bone Station, he was really lucky. Giovanni Carpitella from Italy and Darren Nicholson from Australia.
Australia on the podium on the top step. We went
Aussie.
Well, we all wanted that, and we wanted our Gold Coast team to do that. But in the absence of that, or Team Harrison Australia, Darren Nicholson from Newcastle and Giovanni Capitella from Italy.
We'll take it all day, won't we?
Of course we will.
Giovanni's Carpitella birthday.
Oh, happy birthday, Giovanni.
Buon compleanno, Giovanni. Happy birthday to you, Giovanni. That's awesome. What a great birthday present.
And your attention, please. The national anthem of Italy.
Yeah, the biggest trophies I've ever seen, these surfboards, no doubt about it.
As you said, a little bit hard to get on the hand luggage on the way home.
Yeah.
Carry that onto the plane and see how you go stuffing it in the Virgin top locker above your seat.
Well, that's about as thrilling as I've ever seen any sort of side-by-side motorsport, whether on land, in the air, or on the water. But what a great birthday for Giovanni Capitella. That's been our round 4 XCAT World Series Speed Cat Run. We look forward to your company tomorrow for round 4 of the UIM XCAT World Series Gold Coast Grand Prix. Make sure you join us at 2 p.m. tomorrow. I'm Paul Marinelli on behalf of Dave Bishop. We'll see you then.